Good morning and welcome to UGTP. Before we settle in, here are the headlines moving the next 36 hours. OpenAI has retired GPT 4.5 from ChatGPT. As of today, June 27th, the model is gone from the consumer app, with conversations automatically migrating to GPT 5.5. There are now no GPT-4 models left inside ChatGPT. Samsung and SK Hynix unveiled a joint investment of roughly 800 trillion won, about $518 billion, to build a massive new AI chip-making hub in southwestern South Korea. The two companies make about two-thirds of the world's memory chips. China released its first national standard for AI agents, including a digital ID card system that gives every AI agent a verified identity. The rules aim to cut costs and boost security for enterprise adoption. Google expanded its AI mode in search to nearly 200 countries and 98 languages, letting users connect apps like Gmail and Photos for personal context, with no subscription required. And in energy, a 1 gigawatt off-grid AI data center with 16 gigawatt-hours of batteries has been proposed in Australia. Those are the headlines. Now, the story behind the story. I'm your host, and this is UGTP, the calm, clear breakdown of what's happening across artificial intelligence, computing, and energy. Today is Tuesday, June 30th. And if there's one thread running through today's stories, it's this. AI is no longer just a technology in a lab. It's now reshaping law, reshaping the biggest investments on the planet, reshaping how we secure our devices, and reshaping the power grid itself. Let's walk through it together. So, let's start with the date itself. Today, June 30th, was circled on the calendar of every legal team in tech. It was the day America's first comprehensive state AI law, Colorado's, was supposed to take effect. But here's the twist. The law, as originally written, never took effect today. In May, Governor Jared Polis signed a replacement, SB 26189, which rewrote the rules into a lighter, transparency-focused framework and pushed the effective date to January 1st, 2027. And even that is in limbo. A federal court suspended enforcement back in April after Elon Musk's X.AI sued to block the original law, and the U.S. Department of Justice intervened to oppose it. So the first real AI enforcement deadline in America arrives today, with no actual enforcement happening. Why does it still matter? Because it shows where this is all heading. The original law demanded risk assessments and bias audits. The replacement asks mainly for disclosure. And looming over all of it is a proposed federal bill, the Great American AI Act, that could freeze state AI laws entirely. The deadline arrived. The certainty did not. From how AI is governed to how it's built. On Monday, Samsung and SK Hynix announced a joint investment of roughly 800 trillion won, about $518 billion, to build a new computer chip-making hub in southwestern South Korea. The scale is hard to overstate. These two companies together produce about two-thirds of the world's memory chips, the exact chips that AI data centers devour. Each will build two new fabrication plants, expanding beyond their existing complexes near Seoul. President Lee Jae-myung framed it plainly, calling semiconductors, physical AI, and AI data centers, quote, the three pillars of our next great leap forward. Both companies are reporting record profits as AI infrastructure demand soars. This is nations and giants betting the future of computing on a single region, on a single technology. While the industry invests billions, the security race is escalating just as fast. Reuters reported that Apple has changed its own patching policy, accelerating the release of security updates, specifically because of AI. Until now, Apple would bundle security fixes into its next planned, broader software update. No longer. On Monday, it released iOS 26.5.2, a security-only update with nearly 30 fixes that it would once have held back. Apple says it made the change due to concerns about AI. The reason is sobering. Google's threat intelligence group has warned that AI is sharply reducing the cost and skill required for hacking, and that it even found a fraudster using an AI model to discover and weaponize a vulnerability. In other words, AI is helping attackers find flaws faster, so defenders have to patch them faster. The security clock just got faster for everyone. On the consumer side, Google just made its biggest move yet to bring AI into everyday search. It expanded AI mode to nearly 200 countries and 98 languages, no subscription required. The feature, called Personal Intelligence, can securely connect apps like Gmail and Photos, with Calendar coming soon, to understand your context as you search. Google calls it the biggest upgrade to search in over 25 years. The takeaway for you is that AI is now woven into the tool a billion people use to ask every question, and it's starting to know your world. And as AI reaches more people, the fight over who controls its most powerful models continues. You may recall that OpenAI's new GPT 5.6 was released last week only to government-approved partners. Meanwhile, access to some models is slowly returning. Anthropic said the U.S. government allowed it to redeploy Mythos 5, its strongest cybersecurity model, to a set of organizations that operate and defend critical infrastructure. But the general-purpose Fable 5 remains restricted. The new pattern is clear. The most capable AI models are now treated like strategic assets, released carefully, customer by customer, under government watch. Finally, all of this compute needs power, and the scale of the build-out keeps astonishing. In Australia, a company called Energy North has just proposed a 1 gigawatt off-grid hyperscale AI data center paired with 16 gigawatt-hours of battery storage. Called Project Ares, it would be entirely disconnected from the grid, using batteries as the primary mechanism to keep power flowing between solar generation and the data center's load. The reason is that the rapid, unpredictable power draw of huge GPU clusters can destabilize a grid faster than diesel generators can respond. It's a glimpse of a wild future where the biggest AI facilities simply bypass the grid and build their own. So that's the shape of the day. The first US AI enforcement deadline arrived and quietly dissolved. South Korea bet $500 billion on AI chips. Apple rewired its security to outrun AI hacking. Google put AI into global search. And the most powerful models stayed under lock and key, even as a new data center was designed to leave the grid behind. The thread through every story is unmistakable. AI has grown up. It's now law, money, and infrastructure. If this helped, subscribe so tomorrow's breakdown lands in your feed. Drop a comment on the story you want us to go deeper on. I'm your host. This has been UGTP. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you tomorrow.